Hey there, Jane Sterling here with the Entertain with Jane second anniversary show. I can't believe we've actually been on the air 2 whole years. Can you believe it? So today what I want to do is show you some inside scenes of how it looks after the show is done, and we'll do some different things like you'll hear from some people that know me, and you'll hear from me, and you'll see some bloopers. We're just going to have a really good time. So come on and let me show you how we're going to start, okay? Hey, come on in. Welcome to Entertain with Jane. You won't believe what I've got cooking for you today.
She's always enjoyed entertaining. She's always enjoyed cooking for a lot of people. And even for our family, she made sure that our little family, me and my children, always had good meals.
I'm Jane's daughter, and growing up with Jane was always an adventure. She always had the best craft projects, she always made the best mashed potatoes, and she always had something fun for us to do in the kitchen.
I grew up cooking. My grandmothers both were wonderful cooks. My mother still is a wonderful cook. My aunts cooked. Everything in our family seemed to revolve around Sunday dinner or supper. And we didn't call dinner, we called our night meal supper. And so my earliest memories are of standing on a kitchen chair in my grandmother's house on Copeland Street and mixing potato salad. And I still make potato salad the same way. And sometimes when I'm in the kitchen, it's just like, you know, it's almost like Mama's still there with me, because I've taken part of her especially with me as I've grown older. My other grandmother, if anybody had the gift of hospitality, she had it. She was wonderful. I mean, if you came to her house, she was going to fix a meal for you. And it did not matter that she had not planned it or been to the grocery store or anything. She would jerk out a pressure cooker or something like that and throw it on fast, and it would really be good. And those are some of my fondest memories also. So I was lucky. I had 2 wonderful grandmothers that taught me to cook, taught me hospitality. My mother did too, so it's quite a legacy, I think. I'm trying to pass that on to my children and their children.
My mother definitely gave me a passion for cooking and an enjoyment of cooking, and she has always encouraged me to cook for my family, to create a family table in a family setting, which I think is sort of a lost art and has been very important in our own family.
Well, it wasn't her cooking that first drew me to her. She was really good looking, so that's what drew me to her. And I didn't eat that much of her food in the beginning. I was eating her mother's food, and her mother's food was really good. It wasn't until we'd been dating some time that she started cooking some meals for me, and I thought, dang, I've hit pay dirt. She was always committed to making sure that our family had at least one good cooked meal a day. And it was so, she cooked such good meals at home that our children did not know what it was like to get out and have to eat some of the other stuff they were eating. And our son, when he first went to college, he had a meal ticket, and that didn't satisfy him at all. And he had watched his mother for so long that he became a good cook. And the people in his building, it was kind of a house, it wasn't really a dorm or anything, it was like 8 people in a house. They would buy the groceries, pay for the groceries, and he would cook the meals, and then they would clean up. So she's just always cooked good food for us. That was very important to her, that her family was well fed.
FTC first approached me seemingly out of the blue. I was walking into the break room in the Westmark office, and somebody called my name from a conference room and said, "Hey, Jane." And I said, "Hey," and I turned around and looked, and it was Robin Coker, and he was sitting in there working. And he said, "We talked about you the other day at a meeting." And I was like, "Oh, great. You know, this could be good or this could be bad." So I said, "Oh, great, Robin." And he said, "No, it was really good." And I said, "Well, what?" And he said, somebody said they were having a meeting on the new programming and the new Vision channel, which had not even started then. We didn't even have Vision yet, or, you know, not the way it is now. And he said, "I know just the right person for the cooking show." and it was me, and I was just tickled, you know. I mean, because it was kind of like, well, actually how I felt right at that moment was because I've been trying out for different reality shows that have to do with cooking, like Food Networks and a Martha Stewart one, a CBS one, and I had gotten kind of far, but never, you know, it's almost, but not quite. And so it was just kind of like God said to me right then, see there, I'm going to give you the desires of your heart. Now, it might not be on Food Network, and it might not be for CBS, but look what I can do for you out of the blue. And I really knew that it was a gift. And that made me, I think, appreciate it all the more.
She was so excited to have a chance to show what she does on TV, to have an audience to share it with. Like I said, she enjoys entertaining so much that she really was excited to be able to share what she does and what she loves with other people. So it was very exciting for her, and she was able to have this creative outlet for what she does.
Oh, she was excited. She sent me an email right off the bat and told me about it, and then called me later and told me about it. She was real excited.
The first time I met with the production staff, Mark came over, Mark Roberts, and I was really nervous, but I was excited. And I felt like, well, you know, this is my chance to kind of win him over because he didn't know me from Adam's House Cat. And, but it was really cool because there was just a nice rapport. He's about the age of one of my children, and we just talked and hit it off, and I thought, this is going to be fun. You know, there were no divas in the room, and that was cool. Hey, I'm Jane, and this is Entertain with Jane. Okay, let's cook. First thing we're gonna do, let's cook. First thing we're gonna do is make a chicken pie today. Our theme today is crap, y'all.
That's all right. Start over and let's go again.
Okay.
And yeah, this is the main camera. I'm kind of.
And make sure to say your whole name. I'm Jane Sterling, right? That's your last name, right?
Yes.
All right. I'm Jane Sterling. This is Entertain with Jane.
Okay. Do you want me to do the clap thing over?
No.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jane Sterling, and this is Entertain with Jane. The first show that we shot was very near to my heart, near and dear, because I did my mother's biscuits, my grandmother's pot pie, chicken pot pie, and so it was really cool because it was Sunday dinner, and you know, some people might not know this, but I'm a pastor's wife, so you know, Sunday dinner's always been a big thing. It's not so much now, but it used to be a really big thing at our house. And so I wanted to show everybody how to do a fairly easy Sunday dinner. And I featured my mother and my grandmother's recipes.
But when we first started coming to film, we had a very small space to work with. And setup took a long time when we first started. It
took a long, long time to do it. I enjoyed every minute of it, but when the guys packed up their stuff and left, I remember I put my pajama bottoms on and I hit the couch. And I must have slept for 3 hours. I mean, it took probably 7 hours or so to shoot it. And my feet hurt so bad. I mean, they were aching like I'd been on a 5-mile hike. So it was kind of grueling, but I was all pepped up too because I was really excited about it.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. When she first told me about it, I thought it was gonna be something like you see on some of the larger stations in the South Carolina. They do a noontime show, which really, those things to me are not quality shows. And the first one I saw that y'all did, I was very impressed. I thought this is a quality thing. They're putting together a good show here.
Some of my favorite dishes that I've made so far, I think my very favorite one is Chateaubriand with Béarnaise sauce. And the reason that's my favorite, besides the fact it's just an incredible cut of meat that a lot of us have never had before, and I'd never had it before, is that it stretched my culinary skills. And you know, I used to be really a traditional Southern cook, and now I'm not afraid to make a sauce. Now I'm not afraid of anything that sounds French. I know it's just a different way of saying, you know, and it's just something else to learn. And And I loved doing the Bernays and doing the Chateaubriand because it was so different, so out of my comfort zone. Another thing that I learned to do through the show is crepes. And I love, you know, crepes are just little skinny pancakes. And people say, oh, you make crepes, and it's just nothing, you know, it's just a little technique. And those were fun to make because you can do so much with crepe. You can make a dessert crepe, you can make a dinner crepe, you can make it fancy, you can make it plain, and it's just a great technique to learn and a great dish to learn to make.
I think one of the best times that we had was when we did the barbecuing outside or the grilling outside. It was pretty fun. It was different. I like all of them. I mean, all the food's pretty good. The Mexican one we did a couple weeks ago.
No.
As a kid, my favorite thing was cube steak, rice, and gravy with homemade biscuits.
One of my favorite meals, and she used to cook this a lot when I was working second shift and she was staying home with the kids, we would have our big meal at lunch, and then I'd pack part of that meal to take to work to eat at night. And my favorite meal was chopped steak, and she would make gravy, white gravy out of the grease and all from that steak, and put it on white rice. And I love that meal. That's still one of my favorite meals that she cooks.
All right, and then another one that we've done that I really enjoyed was the Mexican one. It was really good. It wasn't pretty good, it was really good. And I was, I don't know if I was in that episode, but I was in another episode where the picnic was outside. And I've been in a few other ones where I'm eating some stuff, so it's been pretty fun.
One of the guys on the production team, Jason Wheeler, loves to eat. And I can gauge how the show is going by how he rushes to the food after we cut. And if it's something that's really, really good, you're gonna know right off the bat that it was a hit. And I like for everything I make to be perfect and to be good the first time, but sometimes it looks better on the camera than it actually is if you eat it. So I know that if Jason is eating it, it's a hit, that it's fit for anybody because he absolutely loves it. He's a lot of fun to feed, and he could be the queen's tester, in that, you know how they used to do that. So yes, he's Jane's food tester. So
one of the first things that she cooked after we got married, and you know, marriage was real new to us. She didn't like being away from her mother. That upset her a lot. I mean, even though her mother was maybe 20 miles away, she didn't like being away from her mother. But she cooked, I think it was shrimp jambalaya or something like that. And I can't eat real spicy food. It just burns me up. But her side of the family, the more the spicier, the better. And finally, I had to quit. I had tears coming out my eyes. My nose was running. I mean, it was just that hot. I had to quit eating it, but she kept eating. And evidently, it was so spicy that later on that night, she got ill.
you know, as you know, in life and on television, things don't always go as planned. And I kind of have a good time when things go awry because I like a good laugh. And I really kind of enjoy it unless we're feeling pressure, which normally I don't feel any pressure. I don't know why, but anyway, but one thing that happened, I did a really pretty mantle setting for Christmas show, and the pineapple just would not stay up. It just totally fell down. It was just like, ah, you know. And the sky is the limit. Oh, what are we gonna do about that? But the thing that really comes to my mind is the blender. I think whenever I say I'm gonna use the blender, Jason and Mark cringe because the blender never ever works out. I mean, we have had so many messes with the blender. I will forget to screw something on right. I will inevitably put too much in it. I'll do something wrong, and it usually involves some kind of oil. And so I've splattered my floor and my kitchen and the production fellas quite a few times. I think Jason has probably gotten the worst end of that. So the blender is kind of scary. And then sometimes, you know, I'll sit back after a show and I'll think, gee, I wish I'd said so-and-so, or gee, I really meant to give a practical tip here, or gee, I meant to say something nice about IGA because they are so good to me. And I'll realize I've forgotten, you know, and I really hate that. And so after it's over with, I always go over it in my head and I think, boy, we could have done this or we could have done that, you know, and sometimes I just really wish I had another 30 minutes to do it. And this is the aftermath of Entertain with Jane. I mean, and sometimes, honest to goodness, it's worse. Now, we did a dessert pizza today, and as you can see, we just all dug in, and that's one of the fun parts of the show, is that we just dig in after it's over. And then we have just the mess, get the floor, because usually I have to take a knife and scrape the floor clean when everybody leaves, and I have to clean up. Sometimes it takes me 2 or 3 hours to clean up my kitchen after the show, because unlike some people, I'm sure, that have a large staff or something like that, they probably have people washing dishes behind them. Well, no, sometimes I just throw the dishes wherever, like, you know, pile them in the sink. I have been known to throw them in the cupboard. I have been known to stash them in the oven, you know, you name it. So, but this is the way it's done. And as you can see, I cook in a very small, average kitchen. The only thing that I have that I consider the least bit fancy is I have a double oven. And that's it. And my second oven's kind of small. So that's what it looks like. It is a hot mess in the kitchen when the party's over. But, you know, every meal is a party when you entertain with Jane. It really is. So if you want to, you can see my cupboard. I love my cupboard. And sometimes it's even worse than it is now. But this is one of my favorite things. And I've got, yes, I have wine. And, you know, big things of oil and stuff stashed all over the place, and more spices than anybody is ever going to need. So, you know, that's just the way it rolls around here. And then we have our guys, and that one right there, that's Jason. Hey, Jason. Jason likes to eat, and he also likes to be naughty. And make us laugh. So anyway, so that's kind of the way, if you'll see all the lights get really hot, and oh my gosh, you can see every bit of dirt in my kitchen when they come in and turn those lights on. It absolutely throws me into a fit sometimes. So that's the way it is, and I hope you'll stick around and see some more of Entertain with Jane, the 2nd anniversary show.
I think the future of Entertain with Jane is incredibly bright. Along with my mom and her fantastic staff, she's really created a wonderful, wonderful place to entertain in her home and to be able to share that with other people. And I think that given the right opportunity, she could do that on a national stage.
Jane can do anything she wants to. I mean, if she were to get a break somewhere, and I know in an industry like this, somewhere it takes a break, if she got a break, she could go to the top. I mean, she has no fear of the top. I mean, when it comes to something like that, she does not limit herself.
The show's been on about 2 years now, and I was really afraid at first that we might get canned for some reason or another, you know. I've tried to be a very good girl, so I won't get canned. And so it's really exciting. It's easier and easier in some aspects to make the show because I'm no longer nervous and scared. When I see Jason and Mark come in, I don't go, okay, all right, you got to do it right, you got to do it right. Now it's kind of like, okay, here they come, we're going to have a good time today and we're going to get this done. I'd like to see Entertain with Jane go on and on and on and on, you know, until I'm just too old and decrepit to throw something in a frying pan. Those are my plans. I don't know exactly where it's going to go. The show itself, I see it is evolving. I'm doing different types of food. I'm stretching my culinary repertoire. I'm just not just a Southern cook anymore. I think I can hold my own with a lot of different people, and I'm looking forward. That keeps me growing. The show keeps me growing as a cook. I'd really love to go to chef school at some point. But if I don't, then I'll just teach myself. I love to get with Julia Child at night. I crawl up in the bed, and instead of reading a novel, I'll get out one of her books and read. So I see also that my food is evolving into healthier dishes. I've gained weight since I've been doing the show. I was chubby when I started. Now I'm really chubby. So I've realized that you cannot continue to just cook unhealthy and eat any kind of food you want to without, working it off, without changing some of it. So I've learned and taught myself how to make some of the foods that I used to make much healthier. So I'm looking forward to Entertain with Jane being entertaining and good, delicious, but also healthy. And that's where I see it going, that it's going to be, it's going to give whoever watches it, I want them to come back or out of the experience with something healthy, something delicious, and inspired to be hospitable and to share their love through food and through dining with others. Because I think hospitality is a gift. I think food goes right along with that. And I like to say that it's really hard to be mad at people and feed them at the same time. It's really hard to sit down with an enemy and eat dinner. You have to, I think dining builds bridges. Because this is the way I show you that I love you. So come on, let's go eat some food. Because every meal is a party with Entertain with Jane.
All right, so you've been with the show since the first episode. Tell us how it went.